Good morning, everyone. Myself Lakshmi. I'm going to teach you the third week. What I'm in the subject technology and operation strategy. In the third week, I'm going to talk about lean manufacturing. So the topics which I'm going to cover in the third week with respect to the lean manufacturing are like concept of lean manufacturing, meaning of lean manufacturing, history of lean manufacturing, and the types of waste. So these are the topics I'm going to cover in week 3. So before starting the concept, let us see how this lean manufacturing, that is, let us before starting what you mean by lean manufacturing and all, try to understand some more concepts in lean manufacturing. So what is lean manufacturing? So here in the manufacturing, it is all about, right, optimizing the process, and where we are going to eliminate the waste. And why we need to eliminate the waste means in order to become more productive or more efficient. So that is why this lean manufacturing will be used. So lean manufacturing, where we are going to optimize the process and eliminate the waste in order to be more efficient or effective. That is the lean manufacturing. So actually this lean manufacturing is a Japanese concept, and in this concept we have to find out waste in our process means in the production process or in the manufacturing process, and we are going to cut down that waste, and the process will become the lean. So it is nothing but a systematic approach where we are going to identify and eliminate the waste through the continuous improvement in the process. And actually, in this lean manufacturing methodology, it focuses on minimizing the waste within the production system, and where we are going to simultaneously we are going to maximize the productivity. And these kind of production of goods are using less of everything as compared to the traditional production, like less waste, less human effort, less manufacturing space, less investment in tools, or maintaining the less inventory, or maintain having a less engineering time to develop a new product. So this is how we are going to reduce the waste. So I think you understand the basic concept of lean manufacturing. So next is, let us see what you mean by lean, right? So how it works, and before that, what do you mean by lean, right? So you have understood the history of lean manufacturing. So before understanding what you mean by lean manufacturing, let us go to what you mean by lean, right? Lean is nothing but it refers to creating more value, right, for the customers. How we are creating more value to the customers? Through identifying or eliminating or reducing the waste. This is how we create value to the customers, right? How we are going to create the value to the customers? By identifying or by eliminating or reducing the waste. Next one is, once you understood what you mean by lean, let us go to what you mean by lean manufacturing, right? So lean manufacturing is nothing but a philosophy, or you can say the culture, which shortens the time line between the customer order and the product shipment, right? How we can reduce this timeline? By eliminating the waste, right? That is very very important. So that is called as lean manufacturing. So the lean manufacturing also can be called as lean production, or just in time manufacturing, or just in time production, right? So it is nothing but a production method, and we primarily concentrate at reducing times within the production system, as well as the response time from suppliers and to the customers. That is called as lean manufacturing. So the next one is, as I told, what you mean by lean is, it is nothing but an approach, right, to identify and eliminate the waste in a company's operation, right? So lean emphasizes flowing the product and pull of the customers. So that is called as the lean, right? So what makes a manufacturing system lean? So we need to give importance to three M's of the lean. That is the mudo. That is mudo. It is a Japanese word. Mudo is nothing but a waste. muro, that is inconsistency, and muri, that is unreasonableness. So these are the three things you need to give importance in order to reduce the waste, right? So as I'm telling you again, so lean manufacturing is nothing but a systematic approach of identifying, eliminating, or reducing the waste to satisfy the customers. So here, as we all know that lean production, here the methodology is based on specific manufacturing principles that have influenced production system across the world as well as those of the other industries. So that is called as lean manufacturing, right? So how does this lean manufacturing usually work? So here what happens in the lean manufacturing, so the core principle in implementing this lean manufacturing is to eliminate the waste to continually improve a process, right? By reducing the waste to deliver the process improvements, lean manufacturing substantially delivers value to the customer, right? Removing inefficiencies should always streamline the services, it should reduce the cost and ultimately provide savings for specific product or service to the supply chain to the customers. So the next one is why this lean manufacturing is very important, how you can make use of it, right? Actually this lean manufacturing have many benefits, like it eliminate the waste. How it eliminate the waste? As you all know, waste is always a negative factor for cost, right? So and deadlines and resources, so to provide no value to products or services. So this lean manufacturing helps to eliminate the waste. And the second importance is it improves the quality, right? So always the improved quality allows the companies to stay competitive with respect to the competitors, and it helps to meet the changing needs and wants of the customers. So designing process to meet these expectations and desires keep the company ahead of the competitors and helps to maintain the quality and improve the quality. So the next one is lean manufacturing also helps to reduce the cost. How it helps to reduce the cost, right? So when the overproduction or having more material than is required always create storage cost, right? It can be reduced through better process and better management of the raw materials, and it also reduces the time. So wasting time with inefficient like working practices is a waste of money too, as you all know, right? While more efficient practices create shorter lead times and allows for goods and services to be delivered faster. So that is how the lean manufacturing is very important whenever you go for any organization. So actually in the lean manufacturing they usually follow five principles. The first principle is value. So what you mean by value is where we are determining from the perspective of the customers this value, and it always relates to how much they are willing to pay for your product and services. What is the value you're creating for the products by eliminating the waste and the cost, that is called as value. And map the value stream. So what do you mean by map the value stream here? Actually here we are going to analyze the materials and other resources which are required to produce a product or service by identifying the waste and improvement of those products and services. So that is called as the map the value stream. So in each of the production cycle we are going to examine the waste, and we are going to see whether it is adding value or whether it is not adding value. When it is not adding value we are going to be remove that waste, right? That is called as map the value stream. So the next one is principle is create the flow. What do you mean by create the flow? Creating flow is almost removing the functional barriers to improve the lead time. That means here flow of smooth flow and of the process and minimal delay or other waste, right? So that we are going to remove. So the last but not the least is establish a pull system. Here pull system is nothing but commencing the work when there is only demand, right? Push is opposite to that, as you all know, right? So establish a pull system, that means try to manufacture the products or the services when there is a demand. Next one is perfection. So perfection is nothing but the continuous process of the improvement, where it is also called as kaizen, as Toyota is following that, right? So the perfection, so there should be always continuous improvement with the system. So these are the principle usually a company or the lean manufacturing usually follow. So you can ask me, what is the goal of lean production, right? So there are few goals of lean production. Like the main goal is they need to reduce the cost, right? Cost reduction and creating the conditions for improving the quality of the product, right? And quality first time through, right? Where they going to maintain the quality from the beginning, and the customer satisfaction, as you all know, and building in quality at each stage, as I explained. In each stage, from the raw materials till the production of the product, they need to concentrate on the quality of the raw material, quality of the process, design, everything, and the value added of repairs, what extra thing we are adding in for the improvement, for the continuous improvement, and motivating the employees towards the continuous improvement and streamline the, or you can say, the smooth operations flow. So these are the goals of usually for the goals of lean production. So the next one is the history of lean manufacturing, right? So the history of lean manufacturing, actually it started from 1798 till it's going on. So when we start from 1850, right, that is 1850 to 1890, that is Whitley, right? So almost 17, you can say 99. So Whitley is a famous for perfection of interchangeable parts, and Whitley developed this about 1799. So his contribution was in this era, right? So as production processor system changed, few people concerned themselves with what happened between the processes, how multiple processes were arranged within the factory, how the chain of processes functioned as a system, how each worker went about a task. This changed in the late 1890s with the work of early industrial engineers. Next one is so Frederick. A trailer is one of the further of industrial introduced the concept of scientific management. As you all know, scientific management, that means with respect to the time study work standard, standardizing the work, and management of dichotomy. He had peculiar attitude towards the factory workers. So the next in 1904, it is Frank Gilbert and Lenin Gilbert added motion study and invented process charting. That is, these people who originated the idea of eliminating the waste, and they come up with just in time and lean manufacturing. After that, in 1908, Henry Ford and his right hand man Charles, first practitioner, they started working on the just in time and the lean manufacturing. Say the fashion, the first comprehensive manufacturing strategy, and they took all the elements of the manufacturing system like people, machines, tooling, and the products, and arranged all these elements for the continuous improvement, or you can say the continuous system. From 1945 to 1970, that is Ishikawa, Edwin Deming, and Joseph Juron, where they worked for the quality improvements. So these Americans production methods with particular attention to food practices, and they contributed for the quality control practices. So the Toyota production system was developed between 1945 to 1970, and it is still evolving today. So Shinko and Hono suggestions went to work on this setup and changeover problems, and contributed to Toyota production system, that is just in time, stockless production, and world class manufacturing. So what do you mean by this world class manufacturing? In 1980, what some American manufacturers such as Omak Industries, GE, Kivishako who are achieving successful this with respect to this TPS as the first lean manufacturing system, that is Toyota production system, and it started on the shop floor as a solution to every real and pressing problems. So in 1990 till today, so they're going with the lean manufacturing. So lean has proven to be the superior to mass production, and contemporary companies they're facing the choice of getting on board and facing extinction. So what are the principles followed by this Toyota is like, they followed the 14 principles. The first one is in the first section, long term philosophy, that is base your management decisions on a long term philosophy, even at the expense of short term financial goals. So this is the first philosophy which has been followed by Toyota. And in the second section, that is the right process will produce the right result. So in this, what they followed the principle is like, create always a process flow is nothing but the continuous process flow to bring problems to the surface. And the third principle is use pull system to avoid overproduction. That means when there is a demand, then only, that means provide your they need to provide the downline customers in the production process with what they want, when they want, and in what amount they want, right? The material replenishment initiated by consumption is the basic principle of the just in time. So that is called as use pull system to avoid the overproduction. And the next principle is level out the workload. That means work like the tortoise, not the head. That means like eliminate the waste in just one third of the equation for making lean successful, right? Eliminating overburdens the people, but the equipment and eliminating is very good for the company. That is the fourth principle. The fifth one is build a culture of stopping to fix problems and to get quality right at the first time. That means quality for the customer drives your value proportion, right? So the company should use all the modern quality assurance methods available, and they need to build the equipment that are capable of detecting the problems and to stop itself. So that's what they need to follow to fix up the problem. And the sixth one is standardizing the task and process are the foundations for continuous improvement and employee empowerment. That means repeatable methods whenever it is required to maintain the predictability, timing, regular output of the process is very much important, right? So that is called the standardizing the task. And the seventh principle is use visual control, so no problem are hidden. That means the company should use simple visual indicators to help the people determine immediately whether they are in a standard condition or they are deviating from it. And they need to avoid screening from the computer when it moves the workers focus away from the workplace. So they need to design always a simple visual system where it is on place and the support should be there. uh, then they need to reduce the reports to one piece of paper whenever possible, even it is important to the financial decision. And the next principle is use only reliable, uh, thoroughly tested technology that serves your people and the process. That is the next principle. So in the section 3, they have add value to the organization by developing your people. So these principles, whatever the title followed, it is almost equal to the Deming principle. So the ninth principle is like grow leaders who thoroughly understand the work, like leave the philosophy and teach it to the others. So sharing and caring should be there, right? And they should understand the process very well, then only they can work effectively. The next principle is develop exceptional people and teams who follow your company philosophy. That is very very important. That means you need to create a strong stable culture in the company where the values and the beliefs should be shared among the people and among the employees, and they should get trained with respect to that, and they should follow that philosophy. They should respect the philosophy of the organization. And the next one is respect your extended network of partners and suppliers by challenging them and helping them to improve. That means the improvement of the vendors, or the partners with respect to the quality or improvement of the product design and all, right? So that is the next principle. And the next principle is go and see for yourself to thoroughly understand the situation, right? You need to interact with the customers. We need to screen out, you need to verify the data, right? So if you do that, you will understand it very easily. And the last principle is become a learning organization through relentless reflection and continuous improvement. That means you follow the kaizen, eliminate it if anything it's waste, right? So that is called as. So these are the principles that Toyota has been followed. So the next topic is the types of waste in lean manufacturing. So there are seven types of waste in lean manufacturing. That is the defects, overproduction, transport, motion, inventory, waiting, over processing. So let us see one by one what you mean by this. So the defects, right? So the defects actually impact time, as you all know, and it has a great impact on the money, the resources, and the customer satisfaction. I can give an example for this. So when example of this is like when lack of proper documentation, a standard the large variances in inventory or the defects with respect to the poor design and their relate design documentation changes, and the overall lack of proper quality control to the processes required, right? Specific differs causes include like poor quality control at the production level. The defects may arise for this, or poor machine repairs, or lack of proper documentation, or lack of proper standards, process standards, or not understanding your customer needs, right? Inaccurate inventory levels. So these are some of the causes of the defect. So that is one of the ways that we are going to study in lean manufacturing, right? Next one is excess, or you can say excess processing, or you can say like overproduction, right? So this overproduction is nothing but here in the lean manufacturing system they utilize several tools to combat overproduction. That means take the company should take time. It used to balance the production rate between the departments, right? Measured and process map job results, reduced setup time, allowing efficient small batch flow, right? So what are the common causes for this overproduction is like unreliable process or unstable production schedules, or it may be inaccurate forecast and demand information, or it may be customer needs or not clear, poor automation, or longer delayed setup time. So this is some of the causes for overproduction. So lean manufacturing also helps to eliminate this overproduction. So the next one is waiting. And so here waiting can include like people, material, equipment, or idle equipment. So these are also we can come, it comes under waiting. So all waiting costs a company as in terms of direct labor or additional overhead cost or incurred in terms of overtime, expediting costs, right? So the some of the causes of this waiting include like unplanned downtime, or equipment may be idle, right? Or longer delayed setup times, and poor process communication may be also one of the cause, or lack of process control, so product producing to the forecast, and idle equipment. So this is some of the causes for waiting, right? Waiting is often results due to poor process design, and it can be also addressed properly by proper measurement of talk time and the creation of standard work. So the next waste is inventory waste. As you all know, inventory waste, like lean manufacturing, does not focus on the factory but also requires process optimization and communication between the support functions. So, inventory is considered a form of waste because of the related holding costs, right? Like it may be with respect to raw materials or semi-finished goods or finished goods, right? Or over purchasing or forecasting and planning can also lead to the inventory waste, as you all know. So purchasing raw materials should be done when needed, and reducing the waiting of the materials and eliminating the definition of safe stock will also reduce usually this kind of inventory waste. So the common causes of this inventory waste are like overproduction of goods, or it may be delay in the production, or waste of waiting, or it may be inventory defects or excessive transportation. So the next one is the transportation. So the transportation is nothing but the poor plant design, right? When they design the plant layout, it may cause waste in the transportation. It can also trigger the other waste such as waiting or motion, and impact of overload cost, overhead cost, such as higher fuel, energy cost, or higher overhead labors in the form of lift drivers, as well as adding wear and tear on the equipment, right? It may also result from poorly designing process or processes that have not been changed or updated whenever it is required. So value stream mapping and the partial or full changes in the factory outlet may reduce the transportation waste. So like some of the causes, as I said, for the transportation waste are like poor layouts. The poor layouts is nothing but the large distance between the operations, or long material handling system, large batch sizes it may be, or multiple storage facilities, and poorly designed production system. So these are some of the causes of the waste of with respect to the transportation. So the next waste is motion waste. Motion costs money, right? So this not only includes the raw materials but also people and the equipment, right? It may include like excess physical motion such as reaching, lifting, bending, and unnecessary motion results in non-value added time, and it also adds to the cost, right? So here referring to core lean manufacturing methodology, process mapping should include facility layout and optimized workplace design that includes analysis of the distance of motion within the space, as well as the location of parts, supplies, tools within the space as well, right? So an effective process map is developed. Proper utilization of the space should be captured, and it should be well designed and documented based on the standard work. So as I said, some of the common motion waste examples include like poor workstation layout, or poor production planning, or poor process design, or shared equipment and machines, and lack of production standards. So these are some of the uh, ways that come in the lean manufacturing, and how to eliminate this waste. So the you can ask me, so when we eliminate the waste of lean manufacturing, it may be easier when the production process is completely visible, machine metrics offer their transparent, and cloud computing, and when they use this deep analytics or machine learning work in conjunction with the device sensors and software adapters to connect a factory, and we need to allow it to the leverage hidden capacity for the improved efficiency. So this is regarding the wastes in the lean manufacturing. So again I am repeating it, the 7 ways of lean manufacturing are like the defects, overproduction, transport, motion, inventory, waiting, and the over processing. So this is regarding the wastes in lean manufacturing. So if they overcome these wastes in the lean manufacturing, so there are many advantages, like they can save the money, and they can save the cost for the company, and they can eliminate the defects, and they can better utilize the effective utilization of resources will also happen, and the company can fulfill the customer needs and wants, and the company can overcome this waste, right? These wastes are very important, and company should concentrate how to eliminate all this waste by proper planning, or by following all the uh, uh, just in time concept, or you can say kaizen kanban concepts, in order to overcome this waste. So this lean manufacturing plays a very very important role in all kind of now organization, in order to overcome this waste, and where the company, when they overcome this waste, the company can make the profit. Hope you understand the concepts. Thank you. The one more thing I forgot to tell you, like defects, overproductions, and all. When there is a defect, we actually fail to meet the customer expectation. When there is a overproduction, we will then we are going to manufacture more than the expectation, and waiting and the time spent for waiting for the next process steps to occur and unused talents, it's nothing but the waste due to underutilization of people, talent, skill, and the knowledge. And the transportation is nothing but where wasted time, resources, and the cost when unnecessary moving products and materials. Inventory is nothing but waste resulting from excess products and materials that are not processed. And the motion waste is nothing but the wasted time and effort related to unnecessary movement by the people and extra processing. That is the one more waste where we nowadays it has been added, waste related to more work or higher quality than it is required. So these are the ways that comes under lean manufacturing, and by using this lean manufacturing where we can overcome all these kinds of waste. Thank you.